Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
Are you guys ready to tame this fucking Strange? We're about to crush this pussy, bro.
Yeah, you only have 2 Pokemon. He has 4. It's gonna be a rough battle.
Oh fuck, his Pidgey's a Pidgeotto, motherfucker.
Yeah, I think they expect you to fight the gym before him, possibly.
What? We have to go up and go to Bill's place to...
Oh yeah, do you have to do that before the gym?
I don't think you do have to do it before the gym, actually.
I think you have to do it before leaving the area.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's before the gym.
Except I'm gonna fucking tame this Strange. I'm gonna decimate this bitch. Look at that. What a fucking
Because I know Misty's like
bitch.
a level 18 and a level 22 between your Staryu and Starmie, so I don't know what he gets up to.
Oh shit. Critical hit, bitch.
So I guess Pidgey must evolve at 17, because that's what his is at.
That mine was at like 18.
Is it? It can't be. He would have evolved by now. For sure.
Bulbasaur.
It's definitely not above 18.
Fuck up that Bulbasaur. That's a 17.
Huh.
Look, man, his Pidgey's fucking broke.
I guess.
Fuck his Pidgey, dude.
Well,
it's not a real fucking Pidgey. This is a Pidgey, motherfucker. Gus,
anyways,
bitch.
We've been telling lots of stories of our history with Pokemon. Did you have any, like, early life Pokemon stories you wanted to share that you didn't get around to yet?
Man.
Anything you can remember?
I feel like we covered everything, really.
Anything about... I'll just, like, note how, like, Gold and Silver was such a fucking revelation.
Do you remember when we had
our
Game Boy? I saw a picture of this when Mom was showing me, like, baby pictures on my birthday. And, like, we had these things on our Game Boys that attached to the top, and it was a magnifying glass and a backlight. And a surround sound speaker.
Yeah.
And it was just like this hulking thing that you held on your Game Boy.
We had a lot of weird peripherals. Like, because of the fact...
It was nice because it didn't have backlighting in the Game Boy, so you needed a thing to light it. Yeah. And it was, like, insane.
Our parents have always done this weird thing where there was lots of stuff we wanted as kids that we wouldn't get because we wouldn't ask for it.
Okay, never mind.
And then there was stuff that they would just randomly buy us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, and it would always be like, if you had the money to buy us this, why not get the thing we actually wanted and not this weird game? Because it would always get weird Game Boy peripherals. Like, all the time. They would see some weird Game Boy thing and be like, because we had the ones that were the little spiral lights. It's like a light that you plug into your Game Boy and it would shine a light on the screen. And then
because we were always trying to play them in the car, and they knew we needed those.
And then the more advanced version of that was the one that's like this whole mechanism where it's like you said, a magnifying version of the screen that would go above your screen, which didn't really work that well. And then it had lights that shined on it, and then
the speakers were nice,
on it.
I remember those being pretty good.
So like they would get us like all these weird Game Boy peripherals and shit, and because Game Boy is fucking hard as shit to see.
Yeah. It was a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's funny that
it was such a revolutionary console. Because
now, you know, I'll see people on Facebook, oh, I'm playing Pokemon on the original Game Boy. And it's like, even as a kid, I hated playing Pokemon on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Like, even as a kid, you knew how much it sucked.
You would never do that.
You had to get peripherals to make it tolerable. Yeah. Like, it sucked.
Yeah. Game Boy was not
the Game Boy Advance blew it out of the water. It was so much better. Never hear anyone talk about the Game Boy Advance.
Didn't even have backlight until the SP.
Yeah.
Like, it still had to have
lights
fixed to it, but it was better.
And it's weird that I never hear anyone talk about the Game Boy Advance. Because it was the second, it's not the original nostalgia.
Well, the Game Boy is like
oh shit, bird up, bird up, bird up.
Bird up, bird up, bird up, burp, burp, burp.
Yeah, look at Pidgey. That's a cool motherfucker right there.
I think that there were almost 5 times as many people had a Game Boy than had a Game Boy Advance.
A decent bird.
Because the Game Boy is one of the top 5 highest selling consoles ever.
Yeah.
It's like...
The Game Boy Advance is just
I want to say it's the PS2, the Nintendo DS, the Wii, the Game Boy, and the PS1 are like the top 5 highest selling consoles.
I remember my shiny... Platinum Game Boy Advance is the one I got, because you had one a while before me, and you had the original purple one, and then, God, I wanted one so fucking bad, and they got me that
I had the white one.
Sweet, you had the white, oh yeah, you had the white one, that's true.
Yeah.
And then I got the fucking Platinum one, it was awesome!
The original colors were, like, purple, white, and something else. But, yeah, I think, like, pink. It was, like, purple, white, and pink, something like that, and I got the white one.
It's pretty cool. I think I got the... It was for Christmas, because it was the same time we got the GameCube, the Platinum GameCube, I think.
That was our second GameCube.
Yeah, that was our second GameCube. This first one broke.
I don't know what happened to the first one.
I think it overheated or something.
GameCubes are nigh indestructible, so we must have broken.
I remember I actually tried to read the manual to fix it. And like I had read some about like the fans and like overheating and shit.
Weird.
Impossible to read.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so I remember like here's something I didn't bring up. All the Pokemon cakes.
Oh yeah.
In the incredibly unlikely event that I remember to edit this video, I'll throw a bunch of cake pictures on screen. But so my mom is a not lifelong, but she's been making cakes for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
Because the first one she made was a Thomas the Tank Engine cake for my first birthday, and like it was this incredibly creative like 3D cake. And ever since then, for all of our birthdays, she's always made us some kind of like designed cake or cookie. Yeah. And she used to do it like by commission and shit. Like she would put out flyers and people would commission her to make cakes. And the main ones that she made for a while were Pokemon cakes because we were all into it. So we'd all get Pokemon. So, like, the most unbelievable cake that she ever did was a Charizard cake for my, like, 7th birthday that was literally the size of the fucking table. It was massive. It was huge. It was, like, I think she said it was, like, 7 boxes of cake mix or something. It was 3 stories high, like, 3 layers high.
It was the ultimate. No cake could ever top it after that.
Like, 3 feet tall and, like, 4 feet wide type thing. Like, it was fucking massive. I'll hopefully have a picture of it on screen. But it's just unbelievable fucking cake. And everyone had to take pieces of it home who came to the party, and we still had the head. Like, we had to eventually throw away the head because we just could not eat that much cake. I had I think Meryl for one birthday where we were actually at Cub Scout camp, and like I didn't think I was getting a cake, and then all of a sudden, like, she came out with one, and she had made the tail out of, like, Oreo crumbs and stuff. Pretty cool. I don't remember if I had a third Pokemon. I feel like I must have. I know you must have had a Squirtle at some point, and some other guys. She made a lot of Pokemon cakes, a lot of them for, like, friends and family and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's another Pokemon thing.
Bellsprout, man.
And we also had, like, my mom would go all out for birthday parties, and she would make like we'd have themed parties, and we'd have stuff like pin the tail on the Squirtle and stuff like that, and like just like she'd draw like a whole like a huge picture of a Squirtle, and we'd all like try to pin the tails on it. I remember one of the first instances of me using the internet, because we had computer like from way back. And when I was really little, I would print out pictures from Beast Wars. Mm-hmm. Like, I would look up pictures of Beast Wars and print them. And mind you, all images on the internet in this era, which is like 95, were thumbnails. Like, tiny thumbnails. So I would print out, like, waste a whole piece of paper printing out a thumbnail of a Beast War character. And then Pokemon came along. And I would, like, print out pictures of Pokemon. And then one day, I took to the task of drawing all the Pokemon. Because Pokemon.com was around from pretty early on. So, like, 1999, they had a fully functional Pokédex on the site. With, like, all the information about all the Pokemon. And I had memorized, like, everything. All their heights. All their, like, when they evolved. All their types and stuff like that, you know. And one day, I took, like, a huge amount of copy paper. And just drew every Pokemon. But there were like 3 or 4 that I couldn't draw because they were too complicated, so I got Mom to draw them. And of course her art was like, because I was a fucking child and my art looked like shit, and she would draw like these fucking badass looking Pokemon, you know. So like, yeah, I'd drawn all the Pokemon. I remember like I was on that website all the time.
Computer screen.
Jesus. Yeah, I would like, I remember the Pokemon site had, like, little games on it. Like, it had, like, a Pokemon word search and stuff like that. Yeah. And, like, little things like that I would
awesome.
do.
I love the Pokemon website. Yeah, be on there all the fucking time.
That was all I did on the computer.
Just looking at Pokemon, because I didn't want to read anything, so I just look at the pictures, you know?
I never read, like, the descriptions of the Pokemon. I just read the information, the metadata. Like, I've always been obsessed with metadata, so, like, that... I would just know all their heights and everything like that, and like how tall they were in relationship to me.
Same thing with dinosaurs.
Stuff. Yeah.
Dude, I love that. That was always cool. Where it would show you like a person and then like the Pokemon.
Yeah. Because Ash was exactly 5 feet tall, so it would
Oh.
always be Ash versus the Pokemon.
Fucking rad. Pokemon.com,
Which
bitch,
is
is still
kinda
around.
tall for a 10-year-old.
Perhaps, yeah.
I don't know if that's like... I don't know if it was supposed to be that he was 5 feet tall, but it would always show his image and
Yeah.
say 5 feet.
Generic Pokemon trainer.
But, yeah. So, I'm just trying to, like... And we had the little Pokedex with the info. We had hundreds of Pokemon toys. Actually, I'll post a picture of this, too, if I remember. Because I somewhat recently
Gauntlet,
got
Jesus.
out every single Pokemon toy we owned and took a picture of all of it at once.
Oh my god.
It was for the Pokemon Lifer video,
Yeah.
the Pokemon retrospective. I took pictures of just all of it, and yeah, it's quite a bit. We had a lot of like the McDonald's and Burger King toys. Like we would go to, because my mom is a hardcore collector. So if McDonald's was doing a Pokemon
God, I
run,
remember. We
she would take us to McDonald's all the time trying to get all the Pokemon.
Because they'd have those gold plate things.
Yeah, they had
and
weird toys.
all kinds of shit. That was great. That's why we used to go to McDonald's and Burger King so much as
Yeah,
kids.
we were just getting the toys.
I used to love Burger King, and it was probably just because they had Pokemon shit,
Yep.
so that made Burger King the shit.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh my
They would have
God.
tie-ins whenever a movie came
Yeah.
out.
Awesome,
we
man.
always got the promo cards from the movies. I remember us going to see.
Such a fucking rad.
We saw
situation.
we saw the
going
third
on.
movie, and they gave out the Mew holo,
Yeah.
like the one that was like all the stuff was in like hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
Because the theme of the unknown movie
Unknown.
was they were letters and shit.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, it was it's a lot. We have a lot of Pokemon shit.
Uh,
That was when my mom was like really a hoarder at that time, so she was like a big part of it, you know.
big collector.
She was as into collecting Pokemon shit as we were.
definitely.
If not more so.
Like with the gold plate things, we never got to touch those. Those were
No.
for mom.
Yeah.
She wanted those, and then eventually she stopped caring, and then they ended up in the toy bin and shit.
Yeah. Well, she eventually realized, like, Hoarders, the show, was a revelation for Mom. Like, she really took that to heart and, like, decided to get rid of a lot of things after that and, like, to stop caring about certain things.
Oh, I gotta get rid of Sand Attack now because I got Whirlwind.
Like, Mom used to, because when we were kids, then we would often have those projects we have to, like, use a shoebox to make a project out of
Yeah.
it. And as a result of that, Mom would save every shoebox she got. But she kept doing
She
that.
still saves every shoebox
No,
she gets.
no, she does not.
But she
She
still
makes
did.
a point to get rid of them
I
now.
see.
Because Hoarders taught her how fucking insane that was. Because the
Because
thing
I
is,
still save my shoeboxes because, like, I never realized, like,
because she did it.
because I'm just now realizing that's why, and
Right.
like I'm realizing I still save my shoeboxes because of
No,
that.
get rid
and
of
I've
them.
never
You're
used
retarded.
them.
She thought they were so useful because of the shoebox projects.
I didn't
we do,
realize that's why
Because
she
they're
thought
like
they were
they're
useful.
like sturdy, you know. Like
Yeah.
she just thought of them as really useful containers for things because of those projects. But then there was a point because when Hoarders came out, Shade was already in high school, so like she realized, wait, none of my kids are ever going to do a shoebox
Yeah.
project again.
And she would save
I
every
have
single school paper we
30
ever had.
boxes. I have 30 shoe boxes in my attic.
Yes.
Why the fuck do I have these? And she threw them all out because she realized that that's what hoarding
Did she
is.
throw away our school papers? We'd save every single school paper, and for years I
I
thought,
think we still have them all.
like, I was always paranoid to throw away my school papers because I thought, like, you were supposed to save them, and then at some point I was like, why the fuck do I
it's just
need
because
last
Mom
year's
has all
school
that
papers?
shit. Mom
Yeah.
still has all her school papers from when she was a kid because
Jesus.
she's so nostalgic about shit that she'll go back through old stuff of
Like,
hers.
who
and,
cares about, like, a math
Yeah, I don't
homework
give a
from
fuck,
fucking...
you know.
from 5th grade?
Well,
like,
I think
who gives
for her,
a shit?
it's like
Maybe if it were, like, art or
Mom has like a
something.
lot of like Mom likes looking at the past.
Yeah.
I have no good memories tied to the past. Like, everything from my childhood
Yeah.
is worse than now. So, like, because that's the thing about nostalgia. I was talking about this with, like, the
The thing with me
Devu.
with pictures a lot of the time, where it's like, it's fine when I don't remember, but, like, me and Mom will sit and look at pictures, and, like, almost all the time I know how shitty I felt
Right.
at that moment, you know?
Exactly. Like,
And so it's like, it's not the same.
I was
It's
talking-
interesting to me looking at it because I remember how I felt,
Right.
but it's more sad to me than it
Yeah.
is, like,
Same
happy.
here. Like, me and Devu were talking about how, like, nostalgia doesn't work as much on us because we're in so much better situations now, or we're so
Yeah.
much happier now, that, like, current shit makes me happy. Like, old shit, like, Pokemon makes me happy because it is tied to, like, the only thing that made me happy as a
Yeah.
kid was Pokemon, you know? Like, it wasn't like it's not like it reminds me of a point in my life where everything was great. It just was the thing that got me through a bad part of my life, you know? Where, like, I got bullied because of Pokemon, but I never blamed Pokemon. I always blamed those kids for being ignorant and not knowing how cool Pokemon was, you know? So, like... So I never had, like, a negative connotation to it. I've always been happy with it. But, like, nostalgia in general doesn't work for me because it usually takes me back to a worse time. Yeah. Where, like, now I feel like I'm smarter and I like things for better reasons.
Especially with pictures where I just, like, I see it and I'm just like, I know exactly how bad
what
I felt.
Yeah.
Like... She'll show me, like, Cub Scout pictures. I'm like, I remember feeling like shit that day, you know?
There's
like, do I really look happy in that picture?
There's definitely a few pictures where from when I was, like, 14, when
There's
I was,
a few
really
ones
depressed
when we were, like, in the Pokemon era where I looked really happy, and then it's, like, everything then on, I just look sad.
Yeah. The one that gets me is that, like...
the smile looks like there's, like, a layer of sadness under it.
There's that photo cube that's somewhere in, like, I think it's somewhere in her office, but, like, it's, like, each of us, because we went to, like, a photo booth in a mall, and it's, like, each of our photos in a cube form, and, like, I can see on my face, that was the period when I was, like, the most depressed, and, like, looking at that picture, all I think is, I know that kid's fucking depressed. Like, he was depressed when this picture was taken. Like, you can tell I'm faking the smile.
And it's just funny
like, I'm trying so hard to smile.
For Mom who's oblivious to all of that.
Yeah, she was totally oblivious to everything as we grew up.
She likes all that stuff, and I'm just like, like, this isn't good for me, you know?
No. For me, it's just,
anything, like, 10 years old and onward is just sadness.
Yeah. It's just, look at this graph!
That's at least interesting. I like to look back and go, like, that's how I was, you know, and think about, like, why I was that way.
Yeah.
And it's almost trippy, and I'm so glad to be in a better place now. Or now I feel like photos of, like, the last couple years feel pretty good about.
Yeah. Well, your constant cavalcade of selfies.
Oh, yeah. Always feeling good when you take a selfie.
But,
not a depressing selfie in the lot.
I don't know, my selfies can be depressing.
Depends on the selfie.
Anyways... Yeah, Pokemon Red and Blue were awesome. Gold and Silver were like a revolution. It was so cool. The fact that there was... And it bothered me forever that none of the games were as long as Gold and Silver.
This motherfucker's trying to recruit me to Team Rocket.
Because, like, to me, it was like Red and Blue were one adventure, and then Gold and Silver had 2 whole continents.
Bellsprout!
You really want a Bellsprout.
Dude, I need a Bellsprout. Should I get this level 12 one, or should I, like, see if there's a higher level one around?
Whatever you think will work, man.
I'm gonna wreck this Bellsprout, dude.
Level one?
This might not do too much.
Mizu Tempo! That's what water gun is called in Japanese. Mizu Tempo.
Really?
Yep.
Very clean. Dude, Bellsprout. It's a girl Bellsprout.
I think I learned that because Mijumaru used it all the time. Yeah, so then Ruby and Sapphire didn't have 2 continents. That really bothered me. Yeah. Even though I never made it that far, like, just knowing that bothered me.
Just the fact that, even though
I don't know
going back
and
work. Playing Gold and Silver, like, it has 2 continents, but it's the same length as every other game.
Really?
Because the first continent is painfully short, and it's bad. Like, it's not good at all.
Really?
In my opinion, because the environments are all kind of the same, and the Pokemon selection sucks. There's, like, not nearly as many new Pokemon, and, like, so many of them are, like, normal types, or kind of boring, and then there's, like, a shitload of the old Pokemon around, and you're like, this isn't, like, nearly as cool as I remember it being.
I don't know, man. When I played fucking Soul Silver, I was pretty fucking into it. And I only got to 3 gyms.
Well, there you go. You only got the 3 gyms. You didn't play it all the way.
But I definitely remember there's a part where you fight 2 gym leaders right in a row.
At some point in Heart Gold, I've gotten to the Elite Four twice, and I've never wanted to beat the rest of the game just because I was like, it didn't take any time. Exactly. But then I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, so, you fucked up, man. You fucked up.
But yeah, you get there at like a really low level,
hey,
like in like the 30s, you know. Oh man, what's Bellsprout's name? Shit. Fuck, I didn't think of fuck.
Bellsprout.
Look at this graph.
David, look at this.
There's no way that's gonna fit.
Look, you could if it went L-U-K...
Oh, yeah, wait.
A-D...
Dis...
G-R... Or G... You can't do it without...
Look at this grant!
Alright, that worked.
Look at this grant!
Hey, go back to the Pokemon
Why did
Center.
I just name my Bellsprout Look at this grant?
I don't know. You decided to do that.
Look at this grant! I should have named him Wiggly Squiggly.
And then you gotta level the fuck out of him.
Abra!
I wouldn't even
I don't
try.
even sorry,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
gonna
gonna
happen.
Fly
I don't know.
away
Hit him with a
now.
water gun and see what happens.
Oh shit.
He usually runs right
he
after you.
teleports after that. No, abracadabra.
Whatever. You can easily get one from the casino.
Fuck you, Abra. I don't want a fucking Abra.
Oh shit.
Little bitch running away
Didn't
from me
even
like a little
realize you
bitch.
avoided this guy.
Little bitch.
Like a little bitch and a little bitch and a little bitch.
What's that from?
That is from the top 10 games of 2014 by by Endless Jazz.
The best part of my day today.
Oh god.
It wasn't actually the best part of my day, but I'm in the car. For some reason, my Bluetooth malfunctioned and I needed to go. So like, I put on the radio, and I go to FM 99. You know, playing some lame song. There's some fucking like Godsmack song called like something little bitch, and then it's like the chorus is like crying like a little bitch, and I was like, what the fuck? It was retarded as hell. And then I'm like floating through channels, and I come back to it, and I catch the end of Disturbed's cover of The Sound of Silence.
I found that.
I was like, whoa! What is this?
I found out about that just the other day because I made a video called Insomnia Analysis, and I wanted to use The Sound of Silence in it. And I searched The Sound of Silence, and Disturbed comes up. And I'm like, oh god! And I click on it, and of course it's like black and white HD.
So, dude, the video is so bad.
Black and white HD close up of David Draymond's face, and he's all, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." And I just so immediately clicked away. I was like, no, I can't.
Oh, dude, it's so bad.
I can't.
Because it'd be one thing if it were like a metal cover, you know, if it were a Disturbed's cover of. No, it's even slower and lamer than the original song, which is like a depressing folk song.
The original song is actually pretty upbeat, as I learned from putting it in my video.
And it's like. It's like got enlightening, awesome sound. Like, yeah, The Sound of Silence. Yeah, Disturbed. Yeah.
It's exactly what you would expect a Disturbed cover of The Sound of Silence
lame,
to be.
Man.
The Sound of Silence, which is entirely powerful because of how understated it is. And of course he's gonna overdo it and make it fucking lame.
It's so lame.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Just
Alright,
awesome.
Anyway, back to talking about Pokemon. How was Diamond and Pearl for you? Because I wasn't there. I've still never played it.
It sucks. I remember getting through the whole game and being like, I never played it again because the 6 Pokemon I got to be in my team were the only Pokemon in the game I thought that were cool. So I just never wanted to play it again.
That's the thing,
Other than that, it was cool. It's
Diamond
really
and
short.
Pearl
and
only
then it
introduced
has,
like 75 Pokemon.
Yeah, and half of them are legendaries.
Yeah, and half of them were legendary. Which is funny because, okay, for Shade, who got in through that generation,
all he cared about was legendary.
All he cared about was legendary.
Because he's a little kid. So,
yeah.
But to us, it was like the original legendaries, there were 4, and that's what made it cool. There weren't a lot of them.
Well, no one gave a fuck about them. Like, I never cared about the legendary Pokemon.
Dude, I love the legendary. Like, the idea of them was awesome to me. But it was cool because there weren't many of them.
I was never interested because they were hard to get, and I never got them. You know, so like it didn't matter to me.
I would always get like Zapdos.
I thought Lugia was fucking cool because of the movie, but like, I didn't give a fuck about legendary.
But they had
Pokemon.
some mystery and nuance to them. You know, they were hard to get, and then it's
also
just like, then there were a million of them.
The birds
so
were only considered legendaries like in retrospect. Like, like that was not a term that was around. It
exactly.
Was, like,
they were just really rare Pokemon.
Mewtwo was.
That's why it was cool.
Pokemon, you know. And then
you didn't go into it. They weren't on the box, you know?
Yeah. Well, they were.
And then with Ho and Lugia, they were on the box.
Right.
But with Red and Blue, it was, you know, Blastoise and Charizard. And then ever since then, it's been the legendaries are on the box.
Right. But yeah, it was odd. I never cared that much about the legendary Pokemon, and then suddenly they were like everything.
The
Like they
focus,
were the
yeah.
meta of the game, and like Shade was super into legendaries and like super into like Darkrai and Giratina, like
Yeah,
these, like
that's
way
so
over
lame.
designed,
Way
crazy
over-designed.
one. But that's what he was into. That's how we got into it, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just super. He loves that generation, whereas I have no interest, and I don't know who
Yeah.
any of them are. I could probably name the main three. I'm looking up at my poster of all the.
It's just a generation where
starters.
it seemed like it was getting too ridiculous, and I'm so glad they toned it. They
Well, that's
dialed
the-
it back since then.
That's
you know?
the Piplup, Turtwig, and what's it
Yeah.
called? One.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's the
But Turtwig was cool.
what's the monkey
I was
called?
happy. I had another turtle. The monkey, fuck the monkey, dude.
What's
I
it
don't care what it's called. Little douchebag. I don't know. Infernape's the evolved one. That's all I remember.
I just couldn't. That's the only like I was. Game FAQs had a poll that was like, "Can you name all the starter Pokemon?" And I stared up at my picture, and that's the only one I couldn't name.
Oh,
was
God, I
the
can't-
Fire monkey.
Is it... No.
Chimp something? Is it like fire chimp?
Is it
I don't
Chimchar?
fucking- Chimchar? That's it. Chimchar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I could
Oh,
not
you
remember that
fucking
thing's
monkey
name.
Pokemon.
So yeah, I never played Diamond and Pearl. Just was not interested at
I need
all.
some potions, man.
But then Black and White came out, and I was excited about it
Go buy
because
potions.
what's funny is Black and White is like the fastest turnaround of graphics going from really impressive to complete garbage.
Yeah.
In the span of like 2 years, because like up until that point,
That's really the thing with the DS is that the DS looks so much better than the Game Boy Advance, but then when the 3DS came out, it just crushed it.
destroyed it. Yeah. But like I hadn't played Diamond and Pearl, and Diamond and Pearl just looked like the other games where it was just like a sprite artwork and everything, and there was nothing like.
No, it was in between.
But Black and White had like these random moments of total 3D backgrounds. And
That was
stuff.
like
And it was
way
like,
beyond Diamond and Pearl.
yeah,
Diamond
it was
and
like
Pearl started
whoa,
a transition.
and like it, like if I look at it right now, it looks like shit. Black and White looked like total shit. But for some reason, at the time, it was mind-blowing.
It was
like,
it was
the
incredible.
thought of a Pokemon adventure game having thredimensional graphics in
I
any
didn't
capacity.
end up buying any potions. That's why I went back there. Did I heal my Pokemon at least? Okay. I want to go get potions.
Yeah,
This
like
is why it's nice that I could run.
the concept of there being any amount of 3D in a fucking Pokemon game was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so like, and it was clear to me that they were trying to like, because Diamond and Pearl had been like 75 Pokemon and they weren't that interesting. When Black and White came out and it was 151 again, and like none of the old Pokemon were in it. And so that's why I got excited about it, because I was like, this is a new beginning. Like,
Yeah.
this is clearly meant to be, like, you can play this and it can be your first Pokemon game
That's
with
what made
no
it cool. Because
experience
like
in the
Diamond
other
and Pearl
ones.
again had a bunch of the old Pokemon, and then I was just like,
Right.
I don't want to catch. Like I've had those guys, you know.
Yeah. Black and White was all new, and the Pokemon were really cool for Black and White. Like, there was all kinds of cool-looking guys.
Yeah.
You know, it had a lot of cool rock Pokemon, which was, like, rare. Like, most of the rock Pokemon are usually kind of lame, but, like, I loved Roggenrola and those guys, you know. I had fucking, I think Garchomp was that gen, or was he in the Diamond and Pearl? He might have been Diamond and Pearl.
I don't remember.
But
There's
yeah.
too many at this point.
There was a ton of cool shit in Black and White. And I got like 5 gyms in, and you can find on my blog, I wrote like a whole post about how I was like excited about Pokemon for the first time in a long time. I guess the best way to find that post would be by going to my blog and searching Minna Daijobu, because that was the lyric from the song, the opening that I loved. Which that opening theme kicked ass too. The Japanese Best Wishes opening theme was fucking awesome. Still one of my favorite anime OPs. But yeah, man, I was really excited for it, but I only played like 5 gyms in because I was not that into video games at the time. And I had been kind of hyped for Soul Silver before that too, because it was like remaking my favorite Pokemon game. I think I played like 4 or 5 gyms in because I was blogging my playthrough of that. Like every gym, I would write a post about what I'd done up to that gym, and anytime I like try to episodically blog something of that like that, I won't do it all the way through. So yeah, And then when X and Y came out, I went like full fucking tilt. Even though, because I never beat White, I never played White 2.
X and Y had the most hype about it, and I don't really understand why.
Because it was 3D graphics! I
guess, yeah, it was
Why the fuck do you think? It was crazy! It was a revolution! You were the most hype about it! We were all the most hype about it!
It seemed like that was the real huge resurgence of Pokemon, like...
Because it was 3D graphics! It was crazy!
Yeah.
It took
blew everyone's mind.
It just brought it. It was. This is the new generation, and this is what it was going to be from now on.
Yeah.
Like it's. Oh my God, Pokemon is no longer a sprite game. This is now a 3D game.
Fully realized.
It was fucking insanity, and you. That was because the thing is with Black and White, it was great that it didn't have the old Pokemon. But with X and Y, it was great that it did have the old Pokemon. Yeah. Because now they were in 3D.
Yeah, because now they look
And it was
awesome.
like, oh shit, I got all my Pokemon in 3D! And it's not Pokemon Stadium! Which is fucking stupid.
Yes. Oh, Pokemon Stadium. We love that shit.
Yeah, we did play the fuck out of
all
Pokemon
about
Stadium. Mostly the mini games.
Yes.
Almost exclusively
They were great
the
party games.
Yeah. Pokemon Stadium was exponentially better than Mario Party as a party game for the N64. I would say
there's like 6 fucking party games that we play infinitely. Because you could just go in and play the fucking games. Yeah. You didn't have to do this bullshit fucking Monopoly bullshit around it. Fucking board game shit. Oh shit! That Slowpoke just wrecked my Bellsprout. God damn it.
Yeah, we were way into the Pokemon Stadium.
Trying to train fucking Bellsprout.
What the fuck else were we talking about just a second ago? Oh yeah, Black and White and X and Y. You played Black 2, and you said that was like one of the best ones, right?
Yeah,
like
it's pretty good.
Game.
Because it's the same game but like restructured. The story was garbage, but it was fun. Because it adds in all the other Pokemon too, so it's like at that time it gave you the biggest experience.
So then X and Y came out, and at the time, I was dating a girl who was also a Pokemon lifer, and she had also not played for the last few generations.
Of course.
But we were both like, we're old enough now and we have enough expendable income that we can buy a 3DS and get these new games and get really excited for them.
Boyd got hyped for it too.
Yeah, and our cousin Boyd was super hyped for it.
Even Hope got X and Y.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was so much of like just that it was the game itself, but just that like, you know, my video about Pokemon Generation reaching adulthood, it was that we were old enough to like indulge in this.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was our money buying it, you know.
Yeah, it was like the first time, I think that's the first console I ever bought with my own money.
Yeah.
Was the 3DS. Like, cause you know, this generation, like me and you bought the Wii U like at the end, like around, I would say a few months later. Like we both went in on it. I've bought a PS4 by myself.
And that was the dawn of realizing, oh, we can buy these for ourselves.
That was the first time I was able to, like, cause you know, I'd been doing my my YouTube job, and I'd mostly bought like equipment and stuff. You know, like with my Target money and my YouTube money. So that was the first thing I ever like spent an exorbitant amount on a pure pleasure item. And I knew that I was pretty much just gonna play Pokemon on it. Like I knew, and that has remained true to this day. I have not done a lot with my 3DS, but like, because my girlfriend was getting into it, I was like, well, if you're gonna get into it, I'm gonna get into it too. Everyone I know wants to play this game, and we both decided to play, for the first time in my life, to catch all the Pokemon. Yeah. And I never tried it before, and like, I just was like, I have the patience now. I have the skill. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult. I can do this, you know? And what I have found I will say that X and Y is actually pretty badly paced for that. But this game is amazingly paced for that. And I made a video about this, about, like, my second X and Y video is Pokemon, it was called, like, Pokemon Y review by way of Pokemon Fire Red. Because, like, I think it was leading up to Pokemon X and Y coming out that I started playing through Fire Red. And, like, I got about halfway through the game, and I was playing to catch all the Pokemon. And what I found was that this game is paced in such a way that if you're a little kid playing, you're going to stick with your starter and you're going to blow over everything, right? And if you just fight every battle with your starter will get so over-leveled that you can easily take on every challenge in the game.
Yeah.
But if you try to level up a consistent team of 6 Pokemon, then the challenge accommodates that. Because no one Pokemon is strong enough to win any battle, so you really have to use all 6 of them in every fight.
Yeah.
And the game is paced in such a way that, like, the first Pokemon you'll get will be like Caterpie and Weedle, right?
Yeah.
Those Pokemon reach the 3rd evolution by level 10. So by the time you beat Brock's gym, you can already get them out of your party. Rattata evolves at level 20 or so, and then it doesn't evolve again. So by the time you beat Misty's gym, you don't have to have it in your party anymore. But then you start getting, like, Bellsprout. He doesn't evolve until level, like, 24. You know, and then you have to trade him. So then, like, basically the game is paced so that each Pokemon evolves at the level that you will be at around that time.
Yeah.
So, like, you start getting, like, you get to Koga's gym and you get, like, Venonat. And Venonat you catch at, like, level 20, but it evolves at, like, level 30, you know? So the game is paced so that you can constantly switch out Pokemon in your party and then level them for that area and then get rid of them when you get to the next area. And then, like, you know, later on you might get like a dragon, what's it called? Dragonair? Or this is for Dratini. You get Dratini and it doesn't evolve till like level 55, you know? Like you wouldn't train that until you were towards the end of the game because dragon Pokemon are overpowered and they'll take everything out. So like everything is based around, you know, giving you Pokemon that evolve at the level that you're at that time so that you can switch them out. And it's genius. It's unbelievable. If you play this game trying to catch all the Pokemon, you'll be shocked at how natural it feels. Whereas in X and Y, because the game is so fucking complicated, because there's like a million Pokemon and they all have different ways of evolving, and you catch them at random times, and you have to trade for half of them, and half of them you have to fucking hatch from eggs and then raise those ones up, and it takes forever. And so, like, and there's just a million Pokemon. Like, in the first area where you can catch Pokemon, you can catch like 12. It's crazy.
Jesus.
And there's no way you're going to level them all up consistently. Yeah. So, like, because there were 350 Pokemon just in the game. Like, without trading in from other games, there's 350. And then once you catch all those, you can unlock the unlimited decks, and then you can trade in from all your other games, which I didn't bother with that.
And, like, when you beat the game, doesn't it put more Pokemon in the starting areas and shit?
No, I don't think so. But, like,
can't you go back and catch other ones? I don't
No.
know. They did that for some other games. I
There's-
think that was, like, Black and White had that.
But yeah, there's 350 in the game. I caught them all. It was a nightmare. It was like, because it reached a point where I would have to go, there's like a battle center where you can fight like random enemies, but they were never all at the right level for you to fight. And like, it just got really complicated. Hatching eggs was a huge pain in the ass. Trading eggs back and forth from the daycare was a pain in the ass. Fucking, you know, once I finally had the Pokemon League, that made it easier because I could just get a new Pokemon, go to the Pokemon League, and make it level up through that, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was, and that's how my Garchomp got to level 99, because I would use it to fight the Pokemon League over and over again, and,
Badass.
yeah. So, my mains in that were, like, Garchomp and, Gudra, the final form of Sluggoon, which is, Gudra is, like, the coolest Pokemon ever. That whole generation was great. X and Y was, like, only 60 new Pokemon, and all of them kick ass, with, like, 2 exceptions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got really into the meta of the game in that gen. That's it for this episode of Digi Bros, I think. Unless we ended it at 5.
Let's beat this guy real quick.
Wait, when did you get the drink? Was that like 12 minutes ago, or was that like 30 minutes ago? What do you think?
Probably a while.
Do you think it was like 30 minutes ago? Or do you think it was like 12 minutes ago?
Dude, I have no idea.
What have we been talking about?
Fuck. I got the drink. Wasn't it when we were about to fight?
Was
the
it
last
before
guy
or after
and,
you told your story about the Look at This, or the Disturbed song? Was that this episode?
Yes, that was this episode.
Okay, next time on Digi
It
Bros.
was before Look at This Graph.
Alright. Next time on Digi Bros, we'll do another